The Bengals are 6-8. The defense has been bad. Can Lou Anarumo save his job? My thoughts on Lou Anarumo's future in Cincinnati right now on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. Hi again, everyone, and welcome into CBT. I'm James Rapien of BengalsTalk.com. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and we're going to dive in today to Lou Anarumo's future because I think a lot of you assume the Bengals are going to fire him. Will they? Should they? Let's discuss that with 3 games to go. Today's video is brought to you by BetUS, and let's dive into it because let's be honest here. The Bengals are 6-8. They're 2-7 in one-score games. Their defense has been searching for answers all season, and they don't have answers. And yeah, they just forced 6 turnovers, and you could say, oh man, the defense might have turned a corner. Does anyone buy that, given the fact that Will Levis was benched, not only mid-game, but has now been benched, and Mason Rudolph is the starting quarterback of the Titans? Oddly enough, ironically enough, the Bengals need those Titans to win and beat the Colts this week. Regardless, though, Lou Anarumo is under the microscope. This defensive coaching staff under the microscope. But for the sake of not rattling off every coach, let's stick with Lou. Is Lou going to be back next season? If I had to guess today, I would say no. Can Lou find his way back? Can this defense rally and rebound? To me, it's an uphill climb. It's an uphill climb for a bunch of reasons. But let's just start with the season itself. This Bengals defense has not figured it out, has not found the solutions. Yeah, it's not perfect, right? In the trenches, it's not perfect. They need more pressure. All right, well, how do you get more pressure? They haven't really figured that out yet, right? Oh, well, they haven't been the best tackling team early on in the season, but they figured out, oh, no, wait, they had 9 missed tackles against the Titans. The problem is a lot of these issues that they've had have been consistent throughout the year. And in the past, Lou has found solutions, and that hasn't been the case. And I really do. I think the deck is stacked against Lou, and that doesn't mean that he hasn't put himself in this position. To me, if it was just the season in a vacuum, and it was as simple as, and by the way, I did a video on Zach Taylor like 2 weeks ago. So this idea that I haven't touched on Zach, I could just feel the comments coming in. I have done that, so make sure you go back and check that out. But to me, when it comes to Lou, it isn't just the fact that this season hasn't gone well, that he hasn't been able to recover, that he hasn't been able to find answers with a group that is clearly flawed and lacking talent in certain areas, is talent deficient. My issue is you combine that with a key fundamental thing in a theme that has been just peppered throughout this defense. And I'm going to get to that coming up next. Today's video is brought to you by BetUS. Make sure that you use code YouTube150 to get a 150% bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000 at BetUS.com. And that includes Sunday's Battle of Ohio. It's Bengals, it's Browns. The Bengals are favored by a touchdown. And look, you can get in on all of the action, whether it's the Bengals and Browns, whether it's maybe you're looking ahead to week 17. Heck, maybe you're thinking about Thursday night in a game that the Bengals need the Chargers to win. Chargers, Broncos. The point is, you can get in on all the action at BetUS.com. Use code YouTube150. Get that free money up to $2,000. Again, by going to BetUS.com, using code YouTube150. Prop bets, same game parlays, everything and anything in between, live betting in one spot. BetUS. Again, use code YouTube150. The other issue, and it's a big issue, and it's honestly probably bigger than the season, even though nothing's more important than winning and losing games. But to me, why Lou faces such an uphill battle, and why even if they do run the table here, let's say they run the table, they get the 9-8, and the defense is really good down the stretch, it's the development or lack thereof with these guys. Let's use Dax Hill. First round pick, 31st overall. Front office loved him. There was clearly a disconnect there. Lou Anarumo said, I can't get him on the field as a rookie. And then you put him at safety in his second season. And then you get really impatient with him even though he had never played deep safety before, and then you move him to corner in his 3rd season, and then he finally shines a bit, a spot that you coulda just put him in as a rookie. Could've. I think that this is in this new NFL, there's plenty of jack of all trades type safeties that do a little bit of everything, and they couldn't even get him on the field as a rookie, and they probably should have. Instead, Lou was really loyal to Von Bell. Obviously, Jesse Bates is not coming off the field. And you look up and it's like, all right, well, Daxo hasn't developed the way you want. And then when he finally does figure it out at corner in year 3, season-ending injury, and now you're kind of left like, Cam Taylor-Britt, year 3, overall has taken a step back. Now the past couple of weeks have been better. We'll see how he closes out the year. Myles Murphy, does it feel like Lou Anarumo and Marion Hobby have gotten the most out of Myles Murphy? We knew he was somewhat of a project coming in. Does he feel like he's grown and been better? You answer that question. I don't need to answer that question. And so there are, to me, obvious guys like that where it's like, why? Why is this not working? And it's one thing for it to not work, but it's another when it also happens in free agency. Like Lou wanted to bring in Geno Stone. And again, like Cam Taylor-Britt, Geno Stone's been better over the past few weeks, but it's not like he's been a home run. Lou was on board with Nick Scott. That was awful. It did not work. That never worked. And so that's what's tough. And that's what's tough with this position. It's not just that they're bad on the, because if they were bad on the field this year, but Lou didn't have back-to-back first-round picks, right? That they really didn't develop. Or there were young guys that were still blossoming and they just couldn't figure it out. Then I would honestly probably defend Lou and say, all right, bring him back. But I think the uphill climb is both things. It's player development and seeing eye to eye with the front office, along with the results on the field. And so, what does Lou need to do to stay? I think he would need to lead this defense to a dominant 3-game stretch here, starting with Dorian Thompson-Robinson and the Browns. And you'd think that they'd be able to do that. And then after that, find a way to have some success in the playoffs. And if that doesn't happen, I just think it's pretty unrealistic for them to ignore it, put their blinders on, and bring him back. Possible for sure. Marvin Lewis was here for 16 seasons. Nothing is impossible. But it just feels like the deck right now stacked against Lou returning next year, unless he pulls a rabbit out of a hat, has a couple tricks up his sleeve, which they call him the mad scientist for a reason. There's a chance that he does. I wonder if he'll be able to do that down the stretch. We'll see if he can. Regardless, we're going to have you covered here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. I'm James Rapien. Please hit that subscribe button, ring the bell. Check out BetUS, our sponsor. And until next time, for Andrew Fox Miller, I'm James Rapien. Thank you so much for watching Cincinnati Bengals Talk.